And yeah. Life and death, destiny and great deeds, answers to mystery, the search for no one's true path. The mind can comprehend all of these, and then such concept can be written down as a sequence of formulas, a series of lines, a chain of thought. Still, a moment always comes when it is time to wrap up, to reach the conclusion, to put a period at the end of the last sentence. Or should it be an ellipsis instead? An empty space where the description of the end result should be. After all, a century of crusades changed nothing. The gaping world wound remained on the face of Galarian. The wound filled with all-devouring insect continued to grow, wider across Galarian and deeper into the abyss, terrifying mortals and demons alike. The creature that once bore the now cursed title of Commander was still slowly dying from his incurable wounds, but his agony would drag on for many centuries. After the Battle of Threshold, the Commander did not stay long in the lands where the Fifth Crusade had been waged. A new destiny and a new journey awaited him. Like insects flying to a hive, madmen from neighboring lands flocked to Worldwound. Guided by feverish dreams, they followed the call, wishing only to pledge themselves to the swarm to join it, or to become its food. The Commander's cult was growing larger and hungrier. The refined feast wrought by the Commander in Dresden robbed the bordering nations of their will to fight. Much later, a proposal to launch a new crusade in the lands consumed by the rampaging swarm was mooted with great reluctance. The very word crusade had become a synonym of humiliation and failure. Much like the Commander, who was reborn as something more powerful and perfect, the Crusade transformed as well. Military strategy gave way to blind rage, and in place of organized supply line, eternal hunger reigned. There were no more enemies or allies, only praise. No more superiors or subordinates. All were bound by a single will. The army of Dresden vanished, and the swarm emerged. Queen Galfrey died, leaving no direct heir. Mendevian society was soon mired in political plot and petty power struggles, subjecting to an ever-changing cast of rulers and pretenders to the throne. But none was able to win the love of the people and achieve the level of national unity until Mendev, which Mendev has been renowned in the reign of Queen Galfrey. The ward stone from the chain that once guarded the borders of Mendev were carefully disassembled, one by one. The angel that had been trapped inside returned to heaven to heal their wounds, their wounded spirit, and prepare for a new battle against evil. The Lady in Shadow found a way to benefit from the situation by magnanimously accepting the warriors from the destroyed armies of Baphomet and Descaries. She significantly bolstered the might of the Midnight Isles. Few realized that the Commander had effectively foiled Nocticula's plan, which his decision to keep the passage between the Abyss and Galarian open. The Lady in Shadow began preparing her defenses in secret. She knew that sooner or later invaders would appear in her realm, and it mattered not whether they would be demons or mortals. The Demon Lord Baphomet suffered a defeat, but his ambition were undimmed. The world rune remained open, and therefore the war with Galarian was not over. The Demon Lord Descari died his final death, and this cult perished with him. His followers and demonic minions entered the service of Descari's sire, Pazuzu. Whether Pazuzu's terrifying rage stemmed from his offspring's demise or from his failure, no one can tell. The storyteller, as old as Tell he collected, continued his travel across Galarian. Occasionally beyond. He knew that out there somewhere, there was one story that would never find his own.
And what of me, the writer of these words? The half-demon witch known as the architect of the world wound. I was defeated and fell at the hand of the one I had tried to transform. My experiment ended in failure, and my life ended along with it. I have recounted the story of my life for you, Pharasma, Lady of Graves. Not only of my life, but of the Commander's also. I believed the tale of such an illustrious figure would pique even a goddess's curiosity. Now you know everything. I await your verdict, goddess.
You wrought great evil, while it stemmed from the evil that was done to you. Your actions far exceeded it. Your soul is dark, and there is only one place for you in the universe. I shall send you to the abyss, plane of pain and fury, suffering and privation. That which you have done to others will now be done to you. So be it.
Alright. I have a lot to say on this ending. I'm just gonna come back to this thing just to talk about it. So the swarm that walks is a very weird and very different path from the rest. And it's kind of put into the story in a weird way. I don't really like this ending just because I feel like the swarm, even though we're dying, I feel like we should have been able to like feast all of Golarion and the Abyss. Now, we know that the DLCs are not gonna come after the ending. We also know that the Path of the Righteous, the Wrath of the Righteous, Pathfinder, is a book that was made for like D&D for a party, and they adapted a version of it. So, for the canon specificity of the world around it, maybe they can't be like, hey, you killed everybody. But it's still their games. And I don't know what was the next game they have in mind, but I just feel like the ending of this for the Swarm That Walks, that's like you devoured literally everything, would have been great. I feel like maybe after you become a swarm, your soul kind of like detached itself in a lot of ways, and you managed to escape the world wound that was inside of you because you kind of become a demon lord at this point, more than a demon lord. You become the ultimate swarm. You feast on Deskari and you gain all of his power. You are the ultimate being of the plane. And while it is very weird, I just feel like you should have one of the best ending. I feel like this is the same ending I saw in all of the rest of them, right? And that's a problem, I feel. For how much goes into the Swarm That Walks, how much retries, how much cheese, how hard the fights are. But I digress. The Swarm That Walks is a fun path if you like a challenge. I just feel it could be more. I feel it was kind of put there last minute, which it probably was, let's be honest. Like the Devil one. At least the Devil is a path that stems from the Aeon one. So the Devil one, you can understand. However, the Swarm That Walks, I don't know, man. I feel like the Lich was better. In many ways. In many, many ways. And I don't know when the DLC comes out, because I know there's a DLC that takes place right before Aurelu. I don't know if I'm gonna do this DLC on the Swarm That Walks. I know I'll do it on the Lich, but will I do it on the Swarm? I don't know. I enjoy the concept of it. The execution left to be desired. That's pretty much all there is to it. But yeah, overall I give this path like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I'd give the Lich path a 9 out of 10. I feel it felt lackluster, and I really, really hoped that the ending would bring it back together. Sadly, it did not. So, with that being said, that's that's it. That's the end of the Storm That Walks. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I hope to see you guys there.